I've made a promise to the Lord, and I have to keep my promise.
Like everyone hits like a rock bottom.
I have to say no. It's the same thing again, the man or the Lord. I'm like, I have to go with the Lord.
Because I think of like Abraham sacrificing his son.
Do you trust in the Lord, or are you still going to trust in the man, the relationship that you think you can't have?
Shalom.
Hola.
Okay. Welcome to the Issan Chavarria Podcast, where we talk about faith, growth, and struggle. This is my first episode, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's the best. The Lord knows, though.
The Lord knows. I'm also very excited to interview my very first guest. Like I said, this is my very first episode. This individual, she is a Christian. She has a phenomenal testimony. I am excited for you guys to meet her. She also has a podcast. I'm gonna let her talk a little bit about it when we have the chance. But yeah, she is here. So I am excited to introduce to you Cassie Murillo.
Hello, thank you so much for having me here.
Absolutely.
I'm so honored to be your first guest. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, you're like my first guest on here. Well, you know what?
Awesome.
You know what I was gonna do? I was gonna like my first episode was gonna just be me talking, but then I kind of chickened out. So then I was like, you know what? So you know what? I was like, I'll just let my first episode be with Cassie. So I know. I think it's gonna be fun.
Great. It's gonna be
fun.
A lot of people don't know my testimony as detailed as we're gonna go. So
yes. That's why I wanted to interview you, because I knew you had a great testimony, and so you were on a podcast, Ruth's podcast.
Yes.
We have a former friend.
Not
Ruth.
my former friend. I'm friends with her.
Our mutual friend that we have. And she has a podcast, and she interviewed you.
Yeah.
And
we talked about a lot of different stuff, and one I did touch upon a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. And you're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
In this podcast. But before we get into it,
yeah.
For those who may not know you, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are before you get into your testimony?
Yeah. So my name is Cassie. I'm originally from Connecticut. I've been in Florida for
so you can look at me.
I can't? Okay. Yeah. I've been, okay, let me restart that because I wasn't sure.
You can look at me. Yeah.
I saw you were like,
I know. I don't know why I was looking at the camera. No. This is
just
between me and you. Yeah.
My name is Cassie. Why am I doing that again?
This is our first episode. It's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Cassie. I am originally from Connecticut. Yeah. I've been down in Florida for it's almost going to be 7 years. Mm-hmm. I went to school in Connecticut. I went to UConn. I did my master's at UConn. I actually was a UConn cheerleader. Fun fact.
Really?
Yeah, I went to the Final Four in 2014 in Texas and was on the court cheering when the men won.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was like a highlight of my life. No. It was such a great experience. And then once I finished my master's program, like a few years later, I had an opportunity to move down to Florida for my job. Mm-hmm. And that was like right before COVID, so 2019. And once I relocated here, that's when COVID hit. And so...
Wait, so you came here right when the pandemic hit?
Right when the pandemic hit, yeah. So I've been here ever since. I originally started down in Deerfield, and I moved up to Boynton. But all my family's in Connecticut. Yeah. I have 3 sisters. I have 3 nieces and 1 nephew. Okay. So I'm half Italian and half Colombian. That's a little bit. That's awesome. About me. I'm in HR. I don't know if that's a fun fact, but I do human resources. But the good part of HR, I don't fire people. I just tell them, I pay them and tell them about their benefits. And I work 100% remote, which is like a blessing because COVID kind of sent us into our houses.
Oh, that's true.
And then they were like, well, we don't want to pay rent, so just stay home. I was like, you don't gotta tell me twice. I love being home. I'm a little bit of a homebody, and I'm actually also an introvert. Fun fact.
What? No, you're not. You're such a liar.
I'm not a liar. I don't lie. No, it's like, yeah, I'm an introvert deep down. But I come off sometimes as an extrovert.
Really?
Yeah, especially when I'm nervous.
That's crazy. You know, for me, like, I was once an introvert too. But then, like, I guess when I got involved in church more, I slowly became more extroverted. But I don't know if I'm, like, fully an extrovert. I think I'm, like, more...
Well, an introvert is, like, someone who, when they do social activities and they go out, they feel drained. They're, like, drained from it. And then it's, like, they like being home and, like, you know, do things, keeping to themselves, like, things like that. That's basically what
like, not more so of, like, being nervous.
Yeah. So, like...
people.
Yeah, no. I mean, I won't go... Actually, I take that back. Because I think you're right. Like, church has really, like, pushed me outside my comfort zone to, like, go up to people and start talking to people and, like, just starting a random conversation. And, like, now I'll be, like, at the gym and I'm like, hey, how are you? And they're like, what? I'm like,
But it's really cool because, like, I think church has helped me in a lot of ways doing that, like actually starting conversation
and how to maintain one.
Yeah. Yo, literally. Because before I struggled so much with that. I struggled so much with like actually getting to know people and like their stories and stuff until I stepped in to Christ Fellowship, which is the church that we go to, by the way, listeners that are listening to, in Florida. I don't know if we mentioned that, if we're like based in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. No, thank you for sharing that. I have an icebreaker question because I like icebreaker questions.
I love an icebreaker too.
And I'm not going to use the question that I had on there. Okay. I want to try to find something else. Okay, so do you prefer ketchup or ranch?
Oh, what are we eating?
Let's say like chicken tenders and French fries.
Ketchup? And like...
Just ketchup?
What do you mean? You said ketchup or ranch.
Yeah. Well, like just only ketchup, right?
Well, if I'm eating chicken tenders, then I'm going to go to ketchup.
Oh, okay.
And if I'm eating buffalo wings, then I'll go with ranch.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're both great condiments. Yeah. Honestly, I want to tell you this.
You know what's funny?
When I was younger, I used to suck the ketchup packets. Because I loved ketchup so much.
You know what's crazy? I had well, he wasn't my friend, but like I knew of a student in elementary school. He would like, whenever we would go to the lunch line, he would just grab like a whole bunch of ketchup packets and just like suck on them.
There's something in the ketchup that makes you like addicted to it. In the packets though. It has to be in the packet.
Yeah,
it's like a shot of ketchup. Yeah. So me and your, I guess, old school friend have something.
I know, yeah. It's crazy.
Sorry,
I've never done that. All right.
I love that for us.
It's hilarious. Okay, now I want to transition to your testimony because I think it's so powerful. Well, I know it's powerful. I mean, I haven't heard much of it yet, so this is gonna be like my first time.
Yeah,
listening
I have
to
no
it.
idea who's sitting next to you.
So I'd love to hear about your faith journey. How did you first come to know Christ? And feel free to like talk for however long you want to. I'm gonna pause you and like ask you like questions, obviously, but like feel free to like just talk for however long.
Yeah, no problem. So my faith journey started, I grew up Roman Catholic. So I went to Catholic church. My mom took me to CCD. I did my communion, baptism, all the sacraments, confirmation. I remember when I was younger, like going to church with like my mom and like getting donuts after. I was like the highlight because at the time I think I was even I went to Catholic school from preschool up to first grade. I was also an altar server. So that's where they had like the little kids holding the Bibles for the priest. I don't know if you grew up Roman Catholic.
I think I've seen something like that. It's funny. I think I've seen Pablo.
Yes.
Do that. And
Pablo's like, baby picture.
Yeah, I saw that. Do you also wear like the white thing?
The white, yeah. Oh, exactly what Pablo was. I was the female version of that.
Okay. Pablo's like our mutual friend.
And it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy because like, to your point, I was an introvert, but it's like you're on the stage or the platform with like the pastor, basically like his little assistant. So I think it's really interesting when I look back. I'm like, I don't know how I was even brave enough to do that as a young child.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like where my foundation was. What's interesting though is like I went to CCD and like learned about like the typical Bible stories and things like that. But it was, and I learned my prayers. Like I know all my prayers that they like teach you in like Roman Catholic, but I don't remember ever like talking about it like outside of the church space, like within my family or even like friends or things like that. Like it wasn't talked about. It was like, this is something we like do, but it wasn't
like a duty, but like not actually.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, yeah, let's sit down and like talk about God, or like in the conversation, let's talk about like Jesus. I feel like it was all the information that I would receive is from church.
Okay.
And then in terms of like from there, I think once I got my confirmation, I just remember my mom being like, well, you don't have to do all this stuff anymore if you don't want to. Like, it's up to you.
Like when you got older?
Yeah. So confirmation is usually around like 10th grade. So like you're in high school, second year of high school.
Okay.
And so she was like, okay, you have your confirmation. Like, do whatever, you know, like you can continue following the Lord, or you can do whatever you want to do. And the world gobbled me up at that point. You know, I was like, well, if I was only obligated to do this, then like at that time I didn't feel like a pull towards it. So it was from 10th grade up until 2022. So about, that was 2010 went. So about like 12 years, if I'm doing mental math right. 12 years where like I didn't follow God. Like I call on God when like you need something, right? Like, Lord, don't bring down this plane, or like, Lord, like, you know, like
a 911 call.
It's like a 911 call.
Yeah.
And I always said to like through those years, like, I wouldn't get married in a church, like, you know, I don't have a relationship with God. Like I didn't follow really any of his principles. But I wasn't it's interesting because when I've like told people like who I went back to Connecticut after I've like found Christ, they're like, but you weren't even bad. Like you weren't a bad person. Like I always remember as a good person. I'm like, it's not about being a good or bad person. Right? So it's like it's about like where my heart was on the inside.
Yeah.
So that was the extent. So I was like lost in the shuffle of the world, trying to like figure out life at 10th grade. I don't even remember what age you are in 10th grade, but like 16 years old. My parents were very strict on me too. So it's like I wasn't allowed to date till I was 16. I couldn't like leave the house after 10 p.m., which I couldn't go on a certain part of the boardwalk. So it's like I always had these rules and guidelines, which is what originally put me away from like Roman like Catholic, because it was very like good or bad. You must do this. You have to confess your sins to the priest. Here's 3 prayers. Like just fair. There was no relationship, and I couldn't understand the homily. I'm really curious to like go back. And I want to know if I can understand it now. But like I told my sister, she's like, girl, I still don't understand it. I was like, oh. But I'm curious, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like where my foundation was yes, I'm super thankful that I had at least something, because I have met people, even the relationship I last was in, they weren't grown up on that. So it's like when you don't have the foundation, you don't even know what's out there, right? So I'm just super grateful that I was able to, my mom plugged me in at least. And yes, we veer away, especially during your adolescent years too, and like high school and like college. Like those are some tough years where you're like trying to figure out who you are, what to do with your life, and you're just trying to navigate as best you can, and like you could just get taken from the enemy.
So bring me back. Did you have a good relationship with your mom and dad growing up?
Yeah,
and, like, your siblings too?
Yeah, so my parents are still married.
Okay.
My 2 older sisters are super old. Like, not super old.
They
are 7 years older than me. So there's a gap.
Oh, okay.
They're 7 years older than me, so they're like around their 40s.
Okay.
I'm about to be 32 this year. And then I have a younger sister, Gabby, 2 years younger than me. So it was an interesting dynamic because you have like two groups of siblings. Ones are older. So when I was in high school, they were in high school, I was like elementary, middle school, like very young. And then they end up going to college, and then it was me and my younger sister. So we did a lot of family activities. Like I'm half Italian, so my mom always had like Sunday dinner. But the only time I remember us even like praying as like a whole group family was like at the dinner table on Thanksgiving. Right? My mom loves angels. So like she is more angel focused, I guess, like idolizes angels, I guess, versus like God the Lord. Like that's what I usually saw a lot. Or like the saints. They have a lot of saints in the Catholic Church. It was like Saint Anthony, like when you need to find something, like pray to Saint Anthony.
I didn't know that. Because I knew of like, you know, everyone talks about like Catholics pray to Mary. Is that like true?
Yeah. So like you learn a prayer, Hail Mary. And so it's funny because after I learned and read the Bible, I'm like, Mary birthed Jesus.
Yeah.
Not that that's only what she did, but like, you know what I mean? Like, but Jesus is Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And like Mary's his mother, but it's like, it's an interesting dynamic that like she was included in that. Which I also get to because she is an important piece of bringing Jesus into this world,
Absolutely,
right? So
yeah. Her obedience led to like everyone's
everyone's saving, like everyone being saved, right?
Yes,
so like she should be honored in a way, but
not worshipped, not like
correct.
To,
so I think that's kind of too. It's like angels are like, you know, my relatives in heaven, like looking down or protecting me, and like just like different focus, right? I wasn't like I didn't grow up I wasn't like a pastor's kid, obviously, or anything like that. So, but I had a good like family life and.
Wow, look at that.
There.
Okay, so was there ever a point though, like growing up, where even like being plugged into Catholicism, did you ever find like any ounce of you to like rebel? Or were you like just like a goody? Tried to be a goody two shoes.
So
like...
I was a goody two shoes.
Okay.
For sure. Probably up until I got to college, and then I think I did the whole rebel spiral. In college for sure. Like I tried to get straight A's in school. Like, you know, I tried to listen to my parents. Like I didn't really get in trouble. Like I probably was an easy kid because I just like followed the rules, right? Like, and it wasn't until like I would say going into college that I really like pivoted into not like. I remember the first time like I cheated on my boyfriend. Like.
Okay, it's real.
You know, like, and I'd be like, oh, I'm a sinner, you know, like, because, like, it is a sin, but it's like, you know it's wrong. Right? Like, you don't have to follow Jesus to know cheating is wrong, right? Like, it's just, like, a common principle of what not to do. Or just, like, I was always back and forth in just, like, really unhealthy, toxic relationships. And so it's, like, I was, like, following the wrong things, and I was, like, drinking. I mean, I went to UConn, so I was a UConn cheerleader. Like, you know, I actually got a 2.0 GPA one semester in UConn because I was not doing my studies, and I was just like living up the college life, and I was on probation from cheerleading.
Really?
Yeah, I was a bio major and doing cheerleading, and that was something I didn't even really felt called to do anyway. So my first 2 years, I actually went to Emmanuel College in Boston my freshman year, and then I transferred to UConn. But even in my first year, I was just caught up coming back home from Boston to like be with my boyfriend and making him come get me for a 3-hour drive every weekend, and just kind of but UConn was where I feel like I was just
rebellious,
being wild, not doing studying, like just going out. I had a fake ID, so I would like go out to the bars. They had 2 bars on campus at UConn, so they had like nickel night, which is like you get drinks for a nickel.
What?
Yes, and you would just go out.
Like 5 cents?
Yeah.
Nickel? What?
Yeah, like nickel night. You I think it's for like a certain amount of time, and you would just get drinks. Keep putting drinks out.
What?
Yeah, you're like good.
First of all, I never even heard of college campuses having bars.
So UConn is its own little town. It's huge. Like our lecture halls were like 300 people. So it's like that's why they had, because it was in Connecticut, which is it was very like farm like. So it was very spread out. So they had to have things around. But yeah, they had 2 bars on campus that we would go to. I remember like being with my like best friend at the time, and he was like, let's skip class and like go early to the bar. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. It was only one time, but you know what I mean? Like I definitely wasn't the best time, but I definitely learned a lot from that experience.
Okay, so tell me, so where was the moment, let me say it again.
That I found Christ?
Yeah, so like where was the moment where your faith became personal? Like, yeah, like where you found Christ?
Yeah. So that's actually a 2-part question, because like I think where I found my faith, it wasn't personal yet. It took me a couple years for it to be personal. But I moved to Florida in 2019. I moved down with my fiance. So I actually have been engaged. Yeah, we met. I actually used to date him when I was like a child, and then we reconnected and started dating in like 2018, and then I moved in with him 3 months later, and then we were engaged within 6 months. It just like went really, really fast. And so it wasn't, I mean, it was, I was already like hesitant about getting engaged, just because like it wasn't, I was really big about timelines back in the day. And like I remember being like, I want to finish my master's before I do that, but it happened anyways. And at the time I'm like, how do you say no to someone? I had people pleasing tendencies. So, and that's a big thing to people please, because this is the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of, it was on and off for 6 years. Every year we would break up, come back, break up, come back. So when I was about to move down to Florida, I was like, well, I'm going to Florida with or without you, or are you coming? Which is probably not the best way I should have handled it. I know that now. Yeah. But I was someone in I was 23 at the time, and I'm like, I don't want to let this opportunity pass by because of a man. So I was like, are you coming? He ended up coming with me. We moved down 2019 in the summer, and then it was fine. It was very different. I only had one friend here that I knew of. So there was a lot of, like, you're by yourself, like China. And I was very introvert at that time. I didn't experience any of that. So when it came to COVID happening, I don't think we were equipped to handle COVID. And so a lot of people during COVID would start drinking and, just doing things that they were like, what else are you what else to do? There's a lot of things that else you can do. But, like at the time, that's like the mindset that we both had. Broke up again. And then we got back together. I was still engaged. We ended up moving into a townhouse. So I lived with him when he came down. And then I moved into a townhouse with him. And there was a lot of infidelity from his side. Just a lot of like emotional abuse of like really questioning like my own worth, and just not very good. And so what happened is that some things happened, and I was like, well, how can I stay in this? And I actually moved out in like fall of 2021 and moved back to Connecticut for 3 months. And I was there in Connecticut, and where I stay with my family is like a dungeon. It's like the basement, but there's no windows. So like probably wasn't, and it's like during that time it's like cold, depressive. So I just really hit my lowest at that point, where I was like, my life just, I thought I was going to marry this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been taking infidelity and just, like, use of everything, and it's not healthy. The back and forth isn't healthy. Like, and now I lived in Florida, and now I'm currently living in my parents' basement. Like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
Like, what did I do wrong? Like, I've always tried to, like, do things right, and it was, I had rose-colored glasses on. Like, I didn't even realize until I was there that I was like, wow. And I was like, I don't even know where to go from here. I was like, I don't want to stay in Connecticut. I want to go back to Florida. But, like, I didn't really know anyone besides him. He was someone who kept me to himself, who I wasn't allowed to have friends, who were, like, I had to be with him all the time. So it's like, I'd go back to Florida and be by myself. Like, that was so outside my comfort zone. So I was like, all right, well, I remember, like, praying to God. Because, you know, I pray to God in times of need. And I remember being like, what am I doing? Like, God, help me. Like, where am I supposed to go? I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I need you at this point to tell me, like, what to do. And so, flash forward when I went back to Florida after the 3 months. Actually, during those 3 months, I was on Hinge, which shouldn't have been. Like, I wasn't in a relationship, but I also, like, shouldn't have jumped into another one. But I was talking to this guy for 3 months, and when I came back, we met up. And he actually invited me to Christ Fellowship.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So we were friends, and then obviously when you're on Hinge, you're looking to date. But I remember us hanging out a couple times, and he was, like, talking about, oh, my church, there's a leadership speaker coming. It was John Maxwell. It was my first service.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I was just like, I'm into, like, leadership and everything like that. And I, you know, I've been thinking about going to church. I just don't know where to go. He's like, yeah, like, come with me. So that following Sunday, he brought me to Palm Beach Gardens, and that was my first service. It was John Maxwell at the beginning of January, because you know how he comes back every so often. And I was at the Palm Beach Gardens location, and I remember going in there, and, like, I almost cried through the whole thing, but I don't cry in front of people. So, like, I was, like, holding back all the tears, because I was just like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. And, like, I've never left since that day.
Wow.
It was like, I was like, this is it. And I kept going back, and I kept going back every Sunday. And then I did Gardens for, like, 6 months. And then I came to Boynton after that. And I just kept going to church every Sunday. That's all I did, is I just kept coming back. And then after a year, I started getting more involved. So I was like, I remember it was a service that you're like, just give you a year, right?
I remember.
And I was like, I'm an introvert. So I'm like, going to a class by myself? Like, what do you mean? Like, you know, I would go to church, but it's different because you can, like, hide in the pews, you know? Like hide in the chairs, and, like, you know, you can go in and go out.
Yeah.
But it was different at this time. But even through that, like, I remember also, too, okay, I kept going, but I also went back to my ex. And I went back to him being like, I found the thing that's going to save us.
Yeah.
I found, like, we can get through this. I saw the hope, and I'm like, Jesus saves. Like, Jesus could save this relationship. That's where I was.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, Jesus can save. Jesus can make miracles, but like, not when you're trying to force them on someone, right? Yeah. So he's like, what are you talking about? Like, you're coming all of a sudden to the 360. We're coming back together in a relationship, and now you want Jesus in our relationship where he doesn't even, like, didn't grow up on that. And he's like, what is this? And so, like, I took him to church with me. I'm like, just come. And I really forced it on him at the end of the day, because I was like, I so badly was, like, hanging on to that, wanting it to work, knowing that Jesus does save. But I was like, well, I want this for you too.
And that's what they say, like, that's why the Bible says, like, it's so important to be, like, equally yoked. Yeah. Because it's almost like
I was dragging him.
Yeah, you're dragging him, or dragging anyone who's in an unequally yoked relationship, or it's like one person is committed and like the other person is like not, and so it leads. And I remember someone described it as like two donkeys.
Yeah.
Or I think I read, I don't know if it was in the Bible or
That's what a yoke is.
Yeah, a yoke is like yoking two animals together. That way they can both carry the load evenly. And I remember someone described it as like one being like a donkey, and then one being like a very like smaller animal. And then you just see like the donkey constantly carrying the other animal, because the other animal's not really doing anything. And in the same way, that's how it is in like in relationships.
Unequal. And that's how it was. I was driving that relationship, and even though I was pushing the issue, at the end of the day, it was pulling me away from God, because it was the struggle between, okay, well, I want to do this, but he's completely opposite direction. And he's like, well, why aren't you doing this? Or, oh, you're boring, you don't drink. And, you know, I didn't want to do all that stuff because I'm like learning about the Lord and all these good things. And eventually, like, he just kept pulling me back, because I had the people-pleasing tendencies where I'm like, oh, like, this is the man that I want to be with. Like, I don't want to upset him.
Yeah.
And it just got into a very toxic thing. So that's, like, where I found the Lord, is, like, it was an invite. And that's why an invite is so important, because I don't talk to that guy anymore. But, like, he was so, I will never forget him. Like, he was just invited me, probably didn't even know where I was going to go with that, right?
Yeah.
And, like, look at me now, like, leading groups and, like, leading a host team and, like, loving the Lord and, like, just, like you know,
before,
it, like, never before, and, like, completely turned my life around emotionally in the way I feel because of an invite.
Wow.
And all he did was, hey, come to church with me. It was my decision to keep going, of course. But that's all it takes, is like the Holy Spirit moved in me, and I was set off into a whole different direction. So anyone listening, I just encourage you, like, to invite. Like, you never know when you're going to say yes, even if you invite over and over again. Like, the Lord will work where he needs to work. And I'm just so, although I shouldn't have been on Hinge, I'm so grateful that I was, because I wouldn't have met that person if I wasn't doing that. And it also reminds me of, like, how the Lord always redeems the things that could be bad for you into good. It's like, yeah, it was bad for me to be on Hinge, but, like, he sent the person there to bring me to the goodness of him.
Look at that.
So it
Amen.
that's to answer your question on how I found him. Now, I would say, like, the personal, where it went really personal for me, is when I really started getting involved, like, in the church, as well as it set me up with a good foundation of then where, like, I got to know him, like, and experiencing. I did Foundations of Faith. I did Experiencing God, like, learning about him through community, in addition to the Bible, because I did get to that at some point too, really helped me know and understand and, like, see God work. When you get to know someone, you get more personal with them, just like any other relationship. So that next following year, I was just, like, learning more about him. And then I started, like, leading and being part. I found young adults, and that was even more transformative to me, because now I'm in a community of people around my age that want to talk about the same things, or, like, have the same heart posture. Even, like, I can learn off so many people who had, like, relationship with God, maybe found it sooner than me, or just so many different, like, relational experiences with the Lord, because, you know, everyone's different in their walk. I think is just, that was also something that I was like, wow, like, this community is where I want to be. The people here, learning about the Lord, how many things that Christ Fellowship gives you resources for to be able to build your relationship with God, whether it's encouraging the first 15 or whatever it may be. Like, it's really there. It's just us stepping into to take that step to also, like, build that. It's there. It's just for us to take if we want it and wanna learn more about it. But it was what was pivotal for me in the personal, once I got to know all of that, is that I did leave that relationship. It actually was in July of 2024. So it's about to come up almost 2 years. And I just remember like feeling so much conviction at the time because of where I was involved, and then also having that relationship behind the scenes that probably no one even realized. And it was getting too hard for me to be like, what am I doing? Like, I don't like not feeling authentic. Not only that, it's like, I know he's pulling me away. And I'm like, at the end of the day, it reached a point where it came to God or this relationship, and I was like, I have to choose God. Like, there's no other answer to that question. And that terrified me because I'm leaving all of my comfort, right? My comfort of 6 years. I'm leaving all of that. And I was someone who, I was scared to be alone. I was scared to disappoint people. I was scared to not find anyone, or, you know, and it's because I put my validation in a man. I put my validation in a relationship. I put my self-worth, my self-esteem, everything. I tried to fold and mold myself into who that person wanted me to be. And I couldn't be myself through that entire relationship. There was a piece of me that still wasn't being able to. And I remember getting on my knees and being like, Lord, this is your strength, not mine, because there's no other way I can get through this and get pulled out of this type of toxicity without you, with the fear, with the unknown, with, like, I was truly by myself. You know, like, I don't have family down here.
It's like that. Like, I know there are moments where I feel like everyone hits like a rock bottom before they actually commit to the Lord or actually pursue him, because I know for me it was kind of the same way. Like, I was going through certain things like emotionally, and I remember I was actually in my shower. I was taking a shower, and I remember like just feeling so down, and I got on my knees like in the shower, like I was just like crying out to him. And I think at some point you will know if you really need the Lord. Like, a sinner knows when they need God, like when they actually are crying out to him. And I think, like in your case, like you found that like crying out to him and actually going to him is like the only way. Like there is no other way.
I broke up with that man and got back with him every single year. So like, what was going to change this time? I was like, I need the Lord to protect me and to strengthen me to stay away. And to know that it's very uncomfortable right now, and you're scared and you don't know what's going on. But he was like, I know, like, you're going to be, just trust me. Just trust me. And I'm like, I'm trusting you, Lord. Because there's nothing else. Like, I wanted to get better. Like, I didn't want to be in that relationship deep down, you know? But it's like, when you're stuck in that cycle, it's hard to break. You're comfortable.
You've been in it for so long.
And plus the engagement piece of it, too. Like, that I felt obligated to stay with him. So, like, who has another engagement? Like, this is what was going on in my head. Like, but we're not perfect. Life's not perfect. And that was also a piece of me that I had perfectionism in me. I'm like, well, how can I get engaged again? Like, you know, like, no one's perfect.
Right.
You know, like, we're not perfect. Only Jesus is. And I remember that moment just being like, okay, God, it's you and me. Let's do this. And that's when I fully surrender to the Lord.
So question, okay, so whenever you had that moment of knowing that God was saying to like trust him, was it like an audible voice that you heard, or was it like an inner knowing, or like a nudge that you were getting, like conviction maybe that you were feeling, or how does that, because I think a lot of times people even for me, like when we say stuff like, well, God is telling me this, or God
Yeah.
is saying this. Like I think there's a lot of ways God speaks, right? Like audibly, through people, through the Bible, through circumstance. So like, what way did God like really speak to you?
I think originally it was, I get this feeling. It's like this, I don't know how to explain it.
Like a nudge that you get, or like a
resistance. Like,
okay, yeah.
like I'm going this way and he's like, nope, no.
Yeah.
And that's why I really felt, I was like, no, you're just come closer.
Okay.
Come closer to me.
Yeah.
Then it also aligned where, you know, I started reading the Bible and getting into it, where then like I would see his word, but I had to jump into the uncomfortable. And it was really like feelings for me. I feel also sometimes the Lord puts visions in me, like,
oh really? Okay.
because Wildfire of Faith came from a vision, and things will just like smack me in the head. And I remember sitting in my bedroom after I got on my knees and being like, I like want to feel the love that I know I deserve. And I remember in an instant, like, the Lord giving me those feelings. Like, you are loved. Like, you are worthy. You are of value. Of, like, all the things that, like, I didn't think I was. And, like, now I'm, like, walking away from everything. And I just remember him being like, you can have this. And it's through him that I've had all of it.
And those were, like, needs that were being met. You know, like those, and I think that's something I'm slowly learning too. Like, there are needs in my life, because currently, like, I'm healing through certain things, but I know that God ultimately fulfills those needs, like the void in you. So I have a question. Okay, so was there a season where your faith was tested?
Yes. So I committed to the Lord July 2024.
Okay.
And I'm like, Lord, me and you. I said, I'm not dating. I'm committing myself to the Lord for at least a year, because I've always been in a relationship. Before that 6-month engagement, I was in another 6-year relationship with a man throughout college and high school. So, like, never been alone. Never really, like, you know, got to learn about myself. So, short, and, like, the Lord knew that. Probably, I said it out loud, so probably, like, the enemy knew that too, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm in this mindset of no dating. I, like, hit my 30th birthday. And I really think my brain truly developed at age 30. So it was like, I loved age 30. So it's September. I had a friend be like, hey, like, you should date again. I'm like, no. She's like, I have someone for you. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I have someone for you. So she, through a mutual friend, she connects me with this person. We get on a 45-minute phone call. I get to know him. He's great, right? I'm like, what's the harm? Who could this person really be? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what's the harm?
Yeah.
So after the conversation, I'm like, wow, this guy's great.
Okay.
I'm like, wow, like, anything I could ever want in a man, like, man, character, value, man of God, like, all these things. And I was just like, all right, but I said I wasn't dating, right?
Yeah.
So I was very transparent with him on where I was at. I told him, I was like, 4 months ago, I got out of a relationship that it lasted for 6 years, and I was engaged. Like, I've always am super transparent, because I've made mistakes in the past that I haven't been, and people have feelings. So I wanted to lay everything out of the table.
Yeah.
I was like, and he passed all the tests. So I was like, okay, like, I'm going to give it 90 days. I give 90 days. So I'm just going to get to know him for 90 days, whatever. And so after the 90 days, the Lord's like, okay, I'll let you have your fun, but you know you're not supposed to be in this, right?
Yeah. Wait, you mean 90 days, like?
From the time I met him.
Oh, okay.
I said I gave a 90-day subscription. So I got 90 days where I dated him. We went on dates, and, you know, I got to know him, and, like, we enjoyed each other's time, and, like, whatever else. And so after the 90 days, I was like, I shouldn't be in this. And it's really hard, right? Like, I came from an unhealthy, toxic relationship all of a sudden finding a man who's super healthy, emotionally intelligent, honest, kind, genuine, intentional, like it was real.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah.
There. And so now I have to say no. Now I have to let it go, you know?
Mm.
And that was hard. The Lord's like,
yeah,
it's not it. And that's when I got that feeling that I get when it's tugging me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to do, that was so hard because it's not like I ended things because someone did something wrong. I literally had to be like, I had made a promise to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to keep my promise. And so I had to end things. And that's where my faith was tested. It's like, do you trust in the Lord, or are you still going to trust in the relationship that you think you can't have, right? Or that it won't happen again? Because those thoughts were running through my head. Well, it's here now. Why wouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Lord's like, you're not ready. And do you trust me?
Yeah.
It's the same thing again. The man or the Lord. I'm like, I have to go with the Lord.
Yeah.
I have to keep trusting him. He's like, he'll be okay. Trust me.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I ended things.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, I'm restarting my year. That was a year ago today. Like March last year.
Oh.
And I was faithful for the Lord.
Yeah.
And this past year has been amazing, right?
Wow.
And I still keep in touch with him, and his relationship with God got deeper too. And it was very amazing to see. It's like something that wasn't supposed to happen, like, was able to have good out of both of it. And I think we both still needed growing to do at the end of the day. And the Lord, like, this past year, like, I'm like, dang, I love it so much. Do I even want a relationship at this point, right? Like, it's just me and you, God. And so that was hard, you know, like doing the right thing, knowing it's going against the thing that you want and you desire so much to have. And you have to just like, well, I trust you, Lord, because it's your timing, not mine. And my timing would have been like, I want this right now. But I wasn't ready. I've done so much more healing in the past year, emotionally, like even with my journey with God, deepening it. Like, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was caught up in a relationship, because your priorities change. And like, I needed that for sure. And that's what the Lord wanted too, right? He's like, and especially the Lord wants you to himself, of course, like at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, that's true,
I knew it was the right decision. It's just having faith that it will work out, even if it's something that you don't want to do, or you don't understand. I'm like, why? Don't you want me to be happy, Lord? Don't you want me to find someone? Like, and it's like, we don't get it at the time. But I look back and I'm like, I get it now. Like, and that's, I always know when the Lord's asked me to do something or being obedient, it's like, I don't know why. And sometimes like, I'll like kick and stomp my feet, but like, I know he knows better than I do. And I may not see some things or know what things I need to go through, and I have to do it anyways. Right?
Obedience is so hard.
It's so hard.
Like choosing to be obedient when physically it doesn't look the way that you want, or like, because I think of like Abraham sacrificing his son. Like, I mean, obviously we don't really see that nowadays, right?
But I did sacrifice something, right? I felt like I sacrificed my deepest desire. And so, a healthy man of God, godly relationship, right? Doesn't everyone want that? Right. It's like I had to sacrifice that because I needed to pursue my relationship with the Lord.
I think that really speaks volumes, because a lot of times people will just go with their feelings, or people will just be led by their feelings and do what looks pleasing to them, because it's like, okay, well, I think, I know best. I think I know what I'm doing, and then ultimately it comes into
also too. He's godly. Oh, he's everything I want. Oh, God must have sent him. I say that. I mean, this man is great. I don't think that was from God, but I think God redeemed it but Satan knows my weakness.
Yeah.
And he sent me the perfect package.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's everything you want.
Yeah.
And I'm like... And I knew it wasn't, but God redeemed that, right?
Yes.
God strengthened God.
Yeah, like I remember the enemy, when after Jesus was being baptized, he was tested for 40 days, or he was tempted for 40 days in the wilderness, and the enemy is like presenting to him all these things, like if you're really hungry, you could turn this stone into bread. You can, if you worship me, I'll give you everything. You know, so it's like the enemy knows our weaknesses. He knows our tendencies, and
he knows our patterns.
Yes.
Like I've been saying the same pattern up until that point.
And I think that's what people have to understand is that he knows, he studies you. Like that is a powerful testimony, especially for people that are like pursuing relationships that are unequally yoked, right? And this doesn't just have to pertain to relationships. I think this can pertain to like friendships, certain family dynamics. Like, I think a lot of times when we hear the term like unequally yoked, we automatically tie it to relationships, which ideally that's what the Bible is that's what the Bible is like aiming for, right? Because no Christian should be unequally yoked. But I think it ties into like friendships, like people that you were once associated with before getting saved. Like, are they now going to benefit you growing in your relationship with the Lord? Like, are they going to continue like beating you or like tearing you down? You know, are they really adding value to you? So that's kind of the choice you have to make. Like, are they going to pull you away from him? Are they going to like actually help you grow closer to Christ? So I think that really puts a lot of things into perspective, because I know for me, like there were certain friendships that I had to let go of and actually have to readjust my friend group or whatever, because they are not very much Christian. They are not very much helping me in the same my walk
as you.
So I think that like your obedience and like your season of being tested, that's very powerful, and now you can use that to encourage other people, like to help pour out to other people and let them know, hey, like no, like you could choose God even when it's super uncomfortable, even when it seems like everything is well presented to you, kind of like what you said, when you feel like the enemy
just like, here's everything wrapped in a pretty bow, open it up, like it's been great. I think also too, the biggest lesson or the biggest thing that I've taken out of just like my journey is like the love that I was looking for was with God, and I just was looking for everything in the wrong things in the world, and like the world cannot satisfy you. And I know that's like always something that like very cliche that I feel like in the Christian world is like known as like the world won't satisfy you like it's Jesus, but it's so true. It's so true, and I've experienced it firsthand. The world, the relationships, the alcohol, the drunk nights, like all of that didn't do anything for me. And like this past year, I don't drink, and I'm completely transformed. I'm home a lot. I work from home. But, like, I found community. I love connecting with people. Like, it's so crazy because on Tuesdays, like, I go and I see people's faces every single week. And, like, I love them, but I don't even, like, know them, right? And it's, like, I've always been looking for love, like, throughout my life. And I always thought it was a romantic relationship. But love doesn't look like that, and only like that. Like, love can be through friendships, strangers. Like, it really comes from anywhere, especially from God first, right? And that, like, knowing that God loved me and then just being able to, like, love on others, like, is the biggest thing that I think that I've learned is, and took away and, like, always carry with me from that is just, like, if you have to go to the root and figure out what you're looking for. And the solution is Jesus. He's the only person that's going to satisfy everything that you're looking for.
Awesome. I love that. To kind of wrap it up, we have a couple minutes left, but I want to go through just 2 questions. So what would you say to someone who is struggling in their faith right now?
Hang on. Hang on. Keep coming back. every single time. Like, just come back, learn. I made so many mistakes in the beginning of my walk, or if we're still struggling, like, it's okay. Like, God will take you back however you are. Like, as long as you're truly repenting and saying, like, I'm sorry for this, I'm gonna do better, right? He's gonna be like, okay, our sins are forgiven. Like, so if you're struggling, just hang on, keep at it, keep being involved, keep coming back, and surround yourself with community. I think it's so important.
That's a big part.
Don't keep it to yourself. I feel like I had like a few people who did know like what's going on through my struggles that helped me through it, and they were like my guiding light. But some people are really hard to be vulnerable when you're in church, but like you really should find a few godly friends and people who will pray for you to come alongside you through that, because that's the whole point of community. It's like when your faith is weak and my faith is strong, I can feel like be able to encourage you and give you hope, because if you don't have that, it feels hopeless sometimes. Like, not every day is going to be peachy keen, like, for the Lord, like, we have our doubts, we're human, we have our sinful ways, so it's like just making sure that we're trying, taking a step and keep stepping forward towards God.
Amen. That is so good. So if someone wants to grow closer to God, where do you think they should start?
I mean, there's so many different ways. Where you should start, I got plugged in with church. I feel like that's a good way to start. It's like,
that is a good way to start.
Just keep coming. Like, you don't have to go all of a sudden 180 and like, I'm going to do everything and I'm going to go to church and I'm going to read. Like, it gets overwhelming. Like, it can easily get overwhelming when you're trying to, like, it's like information overload. Like, I think take the baby steps. I mean, I've been in my faith for 4 years now. Like, I had gradual things in my journey with God. So it's like, just get plugged in somewhere. Church, read the Bible was another step for me that allowed me to go deeper. So depending on where you are in like your walk, if you're like super new, just go to church. If you have been going to church for a while, like, get into a class or join a small group. If you've been in a small group, like, what's a small group? Are you reading the Word? Get in the Word. If you're already been in the Word and you're in community and you go to church, serve. Like, serve and
you can get to know God that way too. Yeah.
Serve others. And it's amazing, like, how much God's love, how much God will start pouring through you when you serve, especially when you decide to serve. You're also keeping yourself accountable for how you live for the Lord. And even though everyone makes mistakes, it's that accountability of like, I am in a leadership.
I thought of that song. I'm so sorry. Like,
what's that?
Everyone makes mistakes.
Everybody has those days. Everybody knows that. What I'm talking about.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do this. It's just that literally just came to thought.
Yeah. So it's like.
Continue. Yeah.
Okay, so lead and serve.
I'm glad you said serve, because I feel like a lot of people completely forget that part. They think it's just going to church, getting involved with like,
what can I do? Yeah, what can I be filled with?
Yeah, like, how do I receive? How do I gain? What do I gain from this? Right?
Yeah.
And we forget, like, no, like, okay, now we have to be the hands and feet of Jesus. Like, now we have
and there's so much joy in that.
Yeah.
There really is so much joy in just like, you never know when someone needs it.
Awesome. So. Yo, this was such a good episode. I think this is gonna be a really, really good turnout for how I'm gonna put this together at the end. But
Great.
Cassie, thank you so much for joining me. I think this is definitely gonna touch people, and I think you are continuing to grow closer to God, and you will. Yeah. God will open up doors for you.
I'm being obedient in another chapter of my life. Y'all will know soon, but that was another thing that's outside my comfort zone. But I realized with a relationship with the Lord, to grow, you have to get uncomfortable. And He's always gonna, it's just like how a father is. You know, they want you to do well. They want you to challenge yourself. They want you to grow and live life. And, like, that's all Jesus ever wants for us. And for God to work through our lives and really enjoy the fullness of what he has. So I just gotta
keep at it. You
gotta keep at it.
Keep following him. And I think this is going to encourage a lot of people. This actually really encouraged me.
Oh, really?
It actually did. Like,
this is your first time ever hearing all this. I'm like, what is Issan thinking?
This is my first time hearing your story, and I think it definitely encouraged me in a lot of ways as far as just obedience and being uncomfortable. So and so now this I will conclude this. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, let me get closer. Yes, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you next time. And that is a wrap.
We're out!